Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Devas of Creation and breaking down the ultimate trait tier list so you know exactly which ones are worth going for. If you're struggling to figure out which traits are worth your time, don't worry, we've got you covered. We'll go through each trait, talk about the buffs they offer, and help you decide which ones you should be aiming for when you're spinning in the customization menu. Now, in Devas of Creation, traits are super important since they give you all sorts of perks that can completely change how you play the game. With 6 traits available, it might feel like a tough call trying to figure out which one is best for your playstyle. But don't stress, we've ranked them from the absolute must-haves to the ones you might want to skip. So stick around and let's get you rolling for the best traits in the game. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking traits in Devas of Creation. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The traits variants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Vitality Fusion. The thrill of rolling traits, right? You think you're about to snag something epic, and then, boom, Vitality Fusion pops up. It's like that reliable friend who shows up to every party but never quite brings the excitement you were hoping for. So, Vitality Fusion, what's the deal? It's got a 35% reroll rate, making it the most common trait in Devas of Creation. Seriously, you'll be seeing this one a lot. But hey, just because it's common doesn't mean it's completely useless. It does give a little boost to your HP and mana, so let's break down what you're getting here. With Vitality Fusion, you're looking at an extra 200 max HP and 50 max mana, nothing that'll blow your mind, but it's a nice bump, especially in those early stages when you're struggling to survive. This one's all about endurance, giving you that little extra push to keep going when things get rough. It's not going to save your life in a clutch moment or turn you into some kind of tank, but it's better than having nothing, right? Think of it as your safety net. It's there to catch you, but you probably won't be jumping for joy about it. So, should you keep it or re-roll? Well, if you're just starting out or you're in a tight spot, this might actually be decent. But long term, you'll want to swap it out for something with a bit more punch. There's a whole world of traits in Devas of Creation, and while Vitality Fusion is a solid choice when you're starting, it's not the one you'll want to lean on once you're going up against the real tough stuff. So, don't get too attached, because the better traits are out there, waiting to give you that game-changing boost you really need. The traits variants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Critical Mastery and Defensive Resilience. Alright, so let's talk about some traits in Devas of Creation that are perfect for beginners but might not be your endgame heroes. Think of these as your trusty sidekicks, helpful for now, but you'll want to trade up once you're aiming for the big leagues. We're diving into the B tier traits today, and honestly, these are solid choices to get your feet wet. But hey, if you want to really dominate, you'll need to aim for higher tiers eventually. So, let's break down what makes these traits useful when you're just getting started. First up, we've got Critical Mastery. This trait is all about those high damage moments, boosting your critical hit power and chance. Imagine this, you're in the middle of a combo, and boom, a critical hit pops off, turning the tide of battle. That's what Critical Mastery is all about. It's got a 13% chance to roll when you're re-rolling traits, so it's not exactly common, but it's not super rare either. And if you land it, here's what you get. Plus 12% critical hit power and plus 12% critical hit chance. Not bad, right? It's great for chaining attacks and getting some real momentum going in those fights. Next on the list is Defensive Resilience, and this one's perfect for all you tanky, defense-first players. If you're the type who loves being the brick wall in your squad, this trait is calling your name. It boosts your armor and magic resistance, making you a lot tougher to bring down. And guess what? It's got a solid 35% chance to roll when you re-roll traits, so it's one of the easier ones to pick up. You'll gain plus 10% armor and plus 10% magic resistance, which might not sound flashy, but trust me, when enemies are chipping away at your health, you'll be glad you've got this one equipped. So, why are these B tier? Well, Critical Mastery and Defensive Resilience are amazing at helping you set up a solid playstyle early on, but they're not quite as specialized or powerful as traits in higher tiers. Think of them as training wheels, super useful when you're learning the ropes, but you'll want to move on to the heavy hitters as you progress. It's all about getting comfortable and finding your rhythm before you start maxing out on more advanced traits. That said, don't underestimate the value these bring. A plus 12% boost to your critical hits could be the difference between a win and a loss in those close matches, and the extra armor from defensive resilience means you'll be the last one standing when things get tough. Sure, they're not the flashiest traits in the game, but they're consistent, and sometimes consistency is exactly what you need to climb those ranks. But hey, if you find yourself outgrowing these traits, don't sweat it. Just keep grinding for those higher tier options. Devas of Creation is all about finding what works best for your style, and experimenting with traits is part of the fun. So, while critical mastery and defensive resilience are great starters, don't be afraid to keep rolling and aiming higher once you're ready. In the end, B-tier traits are like your trusty sidekicks. They get you going, but eventually, you're going to want to swap them out for the real MVPs. So, give them a shot, see how they fit your playstyle, and then start working your way up. Remember, every pro was once a beginner, so make the most of these while you can. The traits variants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, mystical strength and endurance. Alright, so you've probably been rolling traits like crazy in Devas of Creation, right? I mean, who hasn't? Trying to snag that sweet S tier. But here's the deal, don't sleep on the A tier traits. Just because they don't have that shiny S badge doesn't mean they're not packing some serious heat. Trust me, these are the traits you'll want to keep your eye on if your luck's not pulling through on those S tier spins. Let's kick things off with mystical strength. If you're rolling with the Elithrial race, this trait is like finding a hidden treasure. Seriously, it boosts both your magic and physical power, making you an absolute force on the battlefield. Now, I know a 3.9% chance to roll isn't exactly a walk in the park, but hey, when you hit that lucky spin, you're looking at a whopping plus 20% critical hit chance. On top of that, it also cranks up your magic and physical power by 12%. That's some serious damage output right there. So, if you're not nabbing those S tiers, this is one you should absolutely consider. Now, let's talk endurance. You might be thinking, stamina and speed? Big deal. But hold up. This trait is like having an energy drink for your character, except it doesn't wear off after 5 minutes. It's one of the rarest traits you can roll with a 13% chance, so it's no easy grab, but when you do, oh boy, it's worth it. Imagine being able to dash around, dodge, and move like a pro while everyone else is struggling to keep up. You get an extra 20 max block stamina, so you can stand your ground longer, plus a neat boost of 7% to both your magic and physical power. It's an all-rounder trait, perfect for those who want to stay quick on their feet and punch hard. The beauty of A-tier traits like these is that they give you flexibility. Maybe you're in the mood to mix things up, or you just haven't been able to grab those elusive S tiers yet. No worries, traits like mystical strength and endurance give you a chance to still dominate and show everyone that A-tier players aren't to be messed with. They're all about balance, power, speed, and stamina, so you can find one that fits your playstyle like a glove. If you're still rolling the dice and hoping for the best, just remember, sometimes it's not about the highest tier, it's about how you use what you've got. A-tier traits can still make your character a beast, especially when you know how to build around them. Stack up that extra critical chance with mystical strength, or go for the swift and steady approach with endurance. Either way, you're setting yourself up for some epic plays. So next time you're in Devas of Creation and you don't see that S tier pop up, don't stress. Take a closer look at those A tier options. They might not have the spotlight, but they've got the stats to back you up in battle. Trust me, sometimes the most overlooked choices end up being the best ones. Alright, let's keep those rolls going and see what other hidden gems we can dig up. The traits variants in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Mighty Arcane Aura. Alright, imagine this, you're grinding in Devas of Creation, and you're just one roll away from unlocking the holy grail of traits, the Mighty Arcane Aura. I mean, let's be real here, this trait is absolutely insane. It's basically like getting a VIP pass to boost every key stat that matters. You've got increased stamina, you've got enhanced magic power, and you've got that physical power buff. It's the ultimate triple threat. You're turning your character into an absolute powerhouse, all for the price of a lucky roll. But here's the kicker, your chances of landing this beauty are a slim 0.1%. Yep, blink and you might miss it. But if you do manage to snag it, the rewards are game-changing. We're talking a plus 12% critical hit chance, so you're dishing out those satisfying crits left and right. On top of that, you get a plus 15% boost to magic power. Think about it, your spells are hitting harder, and that extra magic oomph could be the difference between wiping out mobs or getting wiped by them. And hey, don't even get me started on the plus 20 max block stamina. Blocking never felt this good. And as if that wasn't enough, the Mighty Arcane Aura also gives you a solid plus 15% physical power and even adds a little pep in your step with Horn walk speed. It's like your character chugged an energy drink, but, you know, a magic one. You're quicker, stronger, and straight up unstoppable. If you're lucky enough to roll this trait, you've basically got the golden ticket in Devas of Creation. So, my advice, don't stop rolling until you get it, because when you do, you'll know why it's the best trait in the game. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.